Warning, the following video has not been approved by the Comic Code Authority and is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. This is Drewski, the Comic Assassin. It's Friday. I hope all of you have had a great week and have a good weekend planned. I know Thanksgiving's coming up next week, so maybe y'all are traveling and whatnot. But anyway, it's been a minute since I've been able to do a Friday show for you guys, which is usually the day to let you guys know what books I picked up this week, as well as doing a comic book review. Life has happened, man. Just life got busy with work, vacation, family, etc. So it's been a few weeks since I've actually been able to do a comic book review for you guys. But we're going to do one today. Alright? So I know these were from last week, but these are ones that I kind of wanted to point out. The Dollhouse Family, DC Black Label. Right, this is one of those books where the artwork wasn't necessarily my style, and it kind of seemed like Alice in Wonderlandish, but I thought it was actually a pretty good book. It picked up towards the end where I was like, okay, yeah, I might want to be picking up issue 2 of the Dollhouse Family. On the other hand, for Marvel, we had Morbius #1, The Living Vampire. And I love the cover art. Cover art is freaking awesome. But, and the internal artwork is good. And the story wasn't bad, but I'm just kind of tired of the whole Morbius trying to always cure his infliction. At some point, the dude's got to get over it, man. Be a freaking vampire and run with it. Alright? So yeah, I was not a fan of Morbius #1. Like I said, it wasn't bad, but it could have been a lot better. But the 2 books that I was going to review for you last Friday, I'm not going to review them today. And that was Family Tree #1 from Image. This is Jeff Lemire here. And I actually liked this book. Basically, there's some family dynamics where there's this mother, she's got a kid in high school who's getting in trouble. She's got a little daughter, and the daughter starts getting a little bit of a rash. And the next thing you know, freaking, she's got a branch coming out of her back. And some random dude just walks up in school and gives her something. Like, hey, this will help. Which, yeah, how many random people can walk up into schools these days? And basically the rash, like I said, she starts becoming a freaking tree. This clan comes after her. And then old grandpa, which I guess they'd never met before, is like, yeah, I guess there's a little family secret going on. But yeah, I really, really did like Family Tree. I thought it was intriguing, and I'm definitely going to be picking up issue #2 of this one. But another one was Black Stars Above. Now, I'm not going to go pay, like I said, I'm not doing a full review of this. I'm more worried about this week's books, but I really enjoyed the story, but the story to me seemed more like it would be more suitable for a short story or a novel, not necessarily a comic book. And it was really very heavy with dialogue. So there's a lot of words in there, right? Which is good. I would rather my comic books have more dialogue than not. But it was so small that even someone like me, who's getting older in the days, was like, man, I need glasses to read this stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those stories where I was reading it, I was like, I'm not very entertained from the comic version of this. It did kind of pick up a little bit. So I'm 50-50 on this one. It wasn't bad. Like I said, I definitely enjoyed the story. I just definitely see this more as being a novel or something I just read versus the comic book version of it. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I mean, it wasn't bad. Alright, so this week's pickups. Alright, let's start with DC. Alright, I had to go City of Bane, Batman 83. Got that one. Teen Titans number 36. I'm going to cover B on this one. Been enjoying this series. And I did it. I did the one thing that I said on Monday that I was not going to do. The book that I did not recommend for you guys. And that was He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse number 1. Now, I'm probably just going to pick up issue number 1. I had to go with issue B, or cover B. Because that Inyuk Lee cover for cover A just was not doing it for me. But yeah, I was sitting outside the LCS and waiting for the doors to open, sitting with some homies, and they were like, hey, what are you picking up? What are you not picking up? And this book came up in conversation, and I was like, I'm not doing it. And then one of my homeboys pointed out, he's like, hey man, you're wearing a Masters of the Universe t-shirt. And I was like, damn. Like, really? Am I really going to go into my LCS wearing a He-Man shirt and not get a new He-Man book when it drops? So, yeah, I did. I did it. I'm probably going to pick up issue 1, and that's it. I mean, the artwork's not bad, but I just know the story is going to be disappointing because the comics never really do a good job with Masters of the Universe, in my opinion. All right, so for Marvel, I got Absolute Carnage number 5. Which I am so needing to keep up, like, with what's going on. It's been, I'm way backlogged when it comes to Absolute Carnage. I got Deadpool number 1. I think this is volume number 7, I believe. That's the cover I end up getting. Which I think is fine. Like I said, I like that. Deadpool is kind of my comedic relief when it comes to comics. And I also got Immortal Hulk number 27. And like I said, Alex Ross all day long, baby. He is killing them freaking A covers. Now for indies, I did pick up Shozen number 4. Have not read it yet, but look forward to it. Like I said, I've done a few reviews on these guys. Kanto number 6, my man Kanto. I believe this is the end of the run. Now, hopefully they will continue this. But then again, I have not read it. I've read up to 5. Maybe 6 is very finalizing. I do not know. But yeah, Kanto number 6. Had to pick that one up. I also picked up the Marked number 2. Because number 1 was pretty badass, if you ask me. And then Count Crowley, The Reluctant Midnight Monster Hunter number 2. Little mini series. I enjoyed number 1, and I will see if I enjoy number 2. Alright, so the books that I'm going to be reviewing for you today. Something is Killing the Children, number 3, and Heartbeat, number 1. Let's start with Something is Killing the Children, number 3, because I've actually done reviews on 1 and 2, and I said in my video on Monday that this was going to be a make it or break it issue for me. Alright, let's just jump into it. It starts off strong. It starts off with a little girl hiding in a corner. Definitely she's being hunted down. And then all of a sudden chaos is happening. Like some monster is hunting her. Like you can see a dead body over here on the bed. But my one complaint here is that the way they do the artwork, it makes it really hard to understand what the freak is actually happening. So They definitely could have done a better job with that. I guess the monster gets her. And then it cuts to a scene. There's a guy. He's sitting at the bar. Apparently, I'm assuming one of his kids has been the one that's been killed or missing or something like that. Because he's at the bar talking about the relationship that parents have with their kids. He's drunk. The bartender's like, hey, can I call you a cab? And he's like, yeah, but can I have one more drink? And he's like, yeah, but after that, we're going to get you the cab. So, they're having that little dialogue. And over on the other side of the bar, this is the brother of one of the missing children from issues 1 and 2. And they're talking about his run-in with the monster hunter and the kid who was from issue 1. All right, I'm not going to go too far into that. And that's all you see from him. Something is going to... I do like that. I do like that spread. Alright, so from here on out, how issue 2 ended was the cops ending on the monster hunter's door. And apparently now she's in custody. She's handing him this ID. They're like, oh, this is a fake ID, blah, blah, blah. But basically, she gives him the rundown. She's like, hey, I'm about to tell you stuff that you don't want to hear. Like, whatever I'm about to tell you, you're not going to believe. But this is the issue that you have. Basically, you have kids missing. You're not telling the public everything they need to know because you're afraid of the consequences, right? I want to know what kids went missing before this group of kids. She goes, I know those kids are missing, you're just not letting us know. And she does it in a very sly way, and there's all this back and forth with her and the captain. She's like, hey, you're about to get a phone call that's either going to release me or something else. And basically, there's some good banter back and forth, but overall, she's released. Right? She gets let go because a whole bunch of, like, 5 more kids are found dead. Right? And they know she didn't do it, but nonetheless, she's still a suspect. But anyway, she goes out. She meets the kid that was in from issues 1 and 2. And she starts talking to this toy, which, once again, it kind of... it looks like a toy, but in issue 2, it kind of became like this monster or something like that. Basically telling her that this monster that they thought was a class this is more of a bigger class of monster. And that's how the issue ends. And with that being said, I like the story. I do like the story, but I'm disappointed. This is one of those books that I want to either love or hate. Because I do enjoy that there is some plot progression going on, but it's just not exciting to me, right? So yeah, I may not be picking up issue number 4. But like I said, it's one of those things where I've already bought issues 1, 2, and 3. I don't hate the story. I kind of want to know what happens. But man, the way they're doing it is it's disappointing. So yeah, I guess I'm going to have to see issue 4. And I said that last time. Like, flip through it and see if I like it. And I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the story. I just hate that it's like it's too much story progression and not actually getting to the thick of things, if that makes sense. But yeah, Something is Killing the Children, number 3. Love it, but hate it. But here's another one, Heartbeat. Number 1, from Boom Studios. Both of these are from Boom Studios, and I did not plan that to be the case. Heartbeat. Heartbeat number 1. I'm just going to let you know, I'm going to rip the hell out of this book. But know this. The story itself might eventually be good. The artwork itself wasn't bad. With that being said, this is probably one of the worst comic books I've read in a long time. So it starts off, basically, there's all this, like, internal dialogue. And that's all this book is, basically, is internal dialogue. This is our main character. She's got an eye patch over her eye for some reason. We do not know why. We don't understand why in this issue. She's going, there's her mom. Her mom's, I guess, a nurse. She's all passed out on the couch, and it seems like pharmaceuticals might have been at least a factor in that. And she's like, hey, I need you to, sign these scholarship papers. And she goes to school, and after this, like, basically she has all these interactions with different kids, most of them negative, but you don't really know that. Like, here's a chick saying, oh, you're coming in the service entrance, blah, like, whatever. Like, which doesn't really make sense for us. And then she meets this other kid over here, and apparently he's looking for his sister, and I guess he finds her in the next scene. Yeah, because this is her sister right here. And he's like, tell your mom we said hi, blah, blah, blah. And you get this character right here. It's just kind of in the background. And this character goes on, and he picks up a dead sparrow, holds it in his or her hand. Now here's the thing, the way it's drawn, I don't know if this is a dude or a chick. I don't. And I'll get to that here in a minute. But I guess this might be some type of religious school that she's going to, because there's this little church ceremony going on. And once again, all of it is, it's internal, doom and gloom, emo internal dialogue. That's pretty much all there is to it. And there's scenes that don't really make sense. Here, there's the classroom. The next thing you know, there's paper being thrown at her. And then that's it. There's no scenes of people actually throwing stuff at her. There's no scenes of her reacting to it afterwards, or the teacher reacting to it. There's just these really cut scenes in here. And then, so here's some example of the dialogue that's in here. Alright. Palpitating coral hearts with each throb whacking blossoms of sleep. Hallucinogenic poppy, flower of evil. Poisoning every crevice, scattered ribbons. Wisps of smoke and water. Really? Really? Anyway, she goes back home. She gets naked, or not naked, but she gets down in her underwear, and she starts taking this, lipstick, or this, some type of cosmetic, and then she draws lines on her wrist and her neck, and she's like, I wish I was dead, type of thing, right? She wishes she was dead. Not only she wishes her classmates that they were dead, but she wishes she were dead. And she goes back to school, and she finds this. I guess the guy or girl that I was telling you about just munching away on one of the classmates. Just drinking her blood. And she takes a picture of it. And then she goes home, and then she's looking at the picture, and then that's it. And that's it. And then it goes into Faithless, which is, this is the same artist, and the person who did the art and the writing of this also did Faithless, I believe, or did the art in Faithless. Hands down, one of the worst comic books I've ever read, and this is why I don't like it. Like I said, this might be a good storyline down the road. The art wasn't bad, but the art doesn't tell the story. The art was so all over the place, where it's actually, you can't tell what's actually going on. The whole, paper being thrown at her. What is that about? And there was the fight scene. It shows, this girl attacking her, and all you see is just her scratching her face, and that's it. But the art wasn't bad, it just wasn't done in a way that actually brings the story to life. The story itself it's just so like it's just so emo. It's like all internal dialogue. You don't know basically anything about any of these characters right now. And it's disappointing. It really is disappointing. Like this guy, alright, so the person who I don't know if it's a male or female, I'm assuming is a guy. And you know why I'm assuming that is because the synopsis was that the popular boy in school has a thirst for blood. First off, besides that one scene that I showed you, this is the only other scene you see. So I don't know if that's the popular guy or not. Two, he's the only person drinking blood in this issue, so I'm assuming this is the person the synopsis was talking about. So if I didn't have a synopsis of this, I wouldn't even know if this is a guy or a girl. But yeah, I mean, I was totally disappointed in this. This is not how you handle an issue number 1. Alright, so Heartbeat, it gets an F. It gets an F in my book. This is the first time I've done a comic book review where I've said, nah, do not waste your money on that. That's my opinion. I was very, very, very disappointed. But I am not disappointed to be back here with you on a Friday, giving you a comic book review. Thank you so much for coming and checking out the channel. Let me know what you guys think about these books if you read them. You might have different opinions. Also, what books did you pick up? So with that being said, y'all, this is the Comic Assassin. I'm wishing all of y'all a great, great weekend. And with that being said, if you do happen to get out this weekend, and you do go happen to look for some books, I'm going to wish all of you happy hunting.